Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, again, and glanced at the clock, only to see that it's 3 a.m.? Not 2:58. Not 3:17. But exactly 3 a.m. And you lie there, wide awake. No noise. No reason. Just, awake. Maybe it's been happening to you for weeks now. Or maybe it's your partner, or a parent you care for, who always seems restless around that same strange hour. You tell yourself, it's just age, it's normal, right? But what if it's not? What if your body, or the body of someone you love, is quietly trying to tell you something? Something subtle. Something important. Not with pain or big symptoms, but with a gentle nudge in the dark. You see, waking up at 3 a.m. might not be just a random thing. It could be your brain, your emotions, your heart, or even your hormones, sending signals. Signals that something inside you needs care, attention, and understanding. I know how easy it is to brush these moments off. It's just my bladder, or I had coffee too late, or that's just how older folks sleep. But when it starts happening night after night, when it starts stealing your peace, your energy, your mornings, you start to wonder, what's really going on? And the truth? It could be a sign of a shift in your body's rhythm. Or an emotional weight you didn't realize you were carrying. It could be something medical. Or something in your environment. Or, yes, something deeper happening with your mind. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. In this video, we're diving into the 5 most common reasons older adults find themselves waking up at 3 a.m., and what those early hours might be trying to reveal about your health, your sleep, and your life. By the end, you'll understand why this pattern shows up in so many seniors. And how you can respond to it, not with fear, but with knowledge, awareness, and calm action. So, before we begin, let me ask you this. Have you or someone you care about been waking up around 3 a.m. lately? If so, comment, "That's me," down below. Let's talk about it. You're not alone, and I promise, you're not imagining it either. And if you find this topic helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to join our growing community here at Elderly Wisdom Guide, where we bring clarity, compassion, and real care into every conversation about aging well. Now, take a breath. Let's find out what your 3 a.m. wake-up calls are really trying to tell you. Now, let's start with one of the most overlooked, but most common, reasons older adults keep waking up around 3 a.m. Circadian rhythm shifts, your internal clock. Picture this, Mr. Thompson is 78 years old. For most of his life, he's been a sound sleeper. The kind who could fall asleep in his favorite chair, sleep through the night, and wake up refreshed with the sunrise. But now, something's changed. Every night, without fail, he finds himself suddenly awake at exactly 3 a.m. Not from a nightmare. Not from a noise. Just, awake. He blinks into the darkness, wondering why sleep suddenly feels so unfamiliar. This, my friend, is where the circadian rhythm comes into play. See, your circadian rhythm is your body's natural 24-hour clock. It helps tell you when it's time to sleep and when it's time to be alert. But as we age, this clock doesn't tick quite the same way. Your body stops producing as much melatonin, that's the hormone that helps you feel sleepy and stay asleep. Your sleep also becomes lighter, meaning even the smallest sound or change in temperature can wake you up. And if you've ever felt like your nights are getting shorter while your days drag on, that's part of it too. Many older adults start going to bed earlier. Which means by 3 a.m., they've already had 5 or 6 hours of rest, so the body, confused, thinks it's time to rise. But the world outside is still fast asleep. Now here's where things get tricky. A lot of people just say, well, that's just old age, and leave it at that. But not all sleep disturbances are normal. And ignoring them? That can lead to chronic fatigue, lower immune function, mood changes, and even early signs of cognitive decline over time. You deserve more than just brushing it off. You deserve restful sleep. And it is possible. So, what can you do? Start by looking at your evening routine. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Cut down screen time an hour before bed, yes, even the news or your favorite late-night TV shows. And get natural sunlight in the morning. Just 15 minutes of morning sun can do wonders in resetting your internal clock. It's small, gentle shifts like these that help your body find its rhythm again. But of course, not every 3 a.m. wake-up is about biology. Because sometimes, even when everything in your body seems fine, your mind has something else to say. This brings us to the second reason. Anxiety, worry, and emotional overload. Now let's step into a quieter, more personal space, the kind of space that doesn't show up in lab tests or blood work, but still carries heavy weight. Margaret is a retired nurse. Strong, capable, the kind of woman who spent decades caring for others through long nights and emergency calls. But now, in the stillness of her own home, it's her who wakes up at 3 a.m. Heart racing. Mind racing even faster. She lies there, staring at the ceiling. No sounds. No emergencies. But somehow, she feels unsettled. She's thinking about her adult children. Her health. The bills. The what-ifs. And somehow, it's always the quietest hours of the night when those thoughts feel the loudest. You see, anxiety doesn't always look like panic attacks or pacing around the room. Especially in older adults, it can take on a quieter form, midnight awakenings, restlessness, or that tight feeling in your chest you can't explain. And the truth is, as we age, our emotional resilience changes. Life brings transitions, retirement, the loss of a spouse or friends, changes in daily routine, or managing a chronic illness. Each one adds a new layer to the emotional load. But here's the thing, society often sees anxiety as a younger person's issue. So many seniors, like Margaret, don't talk about it. They carry their worries quietly. They smile through the day, but come nightfall, when the world goes still, the mind finally speaks up. And it wakes them up. Over and over again. So, what can help? Start by making your bedtime a safe, calming ritual. Journaling before bed can help you release the thoughts you don't want to carry into the night. Listening to soft, instrumental music or nature sounds can create an emotional buffer zone between the day and sleep. And many have found comfort in weighted blankets, which help the body feel secure, grounded, and safe. None of these are cures. But they are gentle ways to remind your nervous system that you're okay. That you're safe. That you can rest. Because emotional stress is real, and it deserves care. But while emotional tension is one culprit, there's another one that's even more common, and often more disruptive. Your bladder. Now picture Joe. He's 82. A kind-hearted, sharp-witted gentleman who still cracks jokes with everyone he meets. And when you ask him about his sleep, he just chuckles and says, "I'm just an old man with an old bladder." But here's the thing, Joe's waking up 2, sometimes 3 times a night just to use the bathroom. And while he may laugh it off during the day, the truth is, it's starting to wear him down. He's tired. Groggy. Losing energy. Losing balance. And deep down, he knows it's not as funny as it used to be. This is something called nocturia, frequent nighttime urination. And it's incredibly common among older adults. As we age, our kidneys and bladder function differently. The kidneys may produce more urine at night, and the bladder loses some of its capacity to hold it. To make matters more complex, common medications, like diuretics for high blood pressure or heart issues, can further increase the need to go. So, while it might start as a small nuisance, it becomes a major disruption, breaking up precious sleep, night after night. Now, families often assume it's because their loved one is drinking too much water before bed. And yes, that might be part of it. But nocturia is not just about how much you drink. It's a real physiological issue that can interrupt deep sleep cycles, weaken the immune system, and even increase the risk of nighttime falls, a major concern in senior safety. So how do we manage it? Try limiting fluids about 1.5 to 2 hours before bedtime, without cutting hydration completely. Talk to your doctor about the timing of any medications, especially diuretics. And most importantly, make nighttime bathroom trips safer. That means a clear, well-lit path to the bathroom, grab bars if needed, and maybe even a nightlight that turns on with motion. Sleep shouldn't be sacrificed for a full bladder. And dignity shouldn't be lost in the name of managing it alone. Because Joe, and so many others like him, deserve nights filled with rest, not routine interruptions. But while the bladder can stir the body awake, there's another cause that's far more silent, something that lives deep inside the brain, often unnoticed, until patterns begin to show. Early signs of cognitive decline or dementia. Now let me tell you about Evelyn. For most of her life, she was known for her sharpness. Crossword puzzles before breakfast. Sudoku after dinner. She could recount birthdays, recipes, and family stories down to the tiniest details. But lately, things have changed. Her daughter started noticing something strange. Not only was Evelyn waking up every night at exactly 3 a.m., but sometimes, she'd find her wandering the house. Quiet, confused, almost as if she didn't recognize her own home. She wasn't in pain. She wasn't afraid. But something felt off. You see, interrupted sleep, especially early morning awakenings, can sometimes be more than just a restless night. It can be a whisper from the brain, signaling that something deeper is going on. Research shows that disrupted sleep patterns are common in the early stages of cognitive decline, including forms like Alzheimer's or other types of dementia. In fact, some scientists believe that the brain's natural waste-clearing system, which is most active during deep sleep, starts to falter. That dysfunction can lead to a buildup of proteins linked to neurological diseases. And the sleep disruption becomes both a symptom and a trigger. Now, many families miss the signs. They think, she's just not sleeping well, or he's getting older, it's normal to wake up during the night. But when you combine those early morning awakenings with forgetfulness, disorientation, or wandering, it's time to take a closer look. These aren't always full-blown warning bells, but they can be early whispers. And the sooner you hear them, the better you can respond. So, what can you do? Start by tracking the sleep patterns. Note what time the awakenings happen, what your loved one says or does, how alert or confused they seem. Is it just once a night? Is it followed by pacing? Do they return to sleep easily, or seem distressed? Monitor behavior during those early hours. A journal or notes on your phone can go a long way when it's time to talk to a healthcare provider. And most importantly, don't wait for things to get worse. If you notice a combination of disrupted sleep and new confusion, it's okay to seek cognitive screening. Early detection doesn't just bring answers, it brings options. Support. Resources. A plan. Because Evelyn, and thousands of seniors just like her, deserve to live with dignity and clarity for as long as possible. But now, let's shift gears. Because not every 3 a.m. awakening is rooted in the mind, the bladder, or even our biology. Sometimes, the answer is far more simple, but just as powerful. Environmental triggers. Let's talk about Frank. He's 76, lives alone in a small, cozy apartment. Keeps the place tidy, enjoys his evening TV shows, and always brews a cup of chamomile before bed. But every single night, at exactly 3 a.m., he wakes up. Sometimes it's the heater clicking on. Other times, it's the neighbor's dog barking or a car alarm in the distance. And occasionally, he doesn't even know what woke him. He just is awake. He sits up, sighs, maybe reads for a bit, then tries to drift back to sleep, if he can. Now here's the thing, Frank doesn't have anxiety. His bladder isn't what it used to be, but that's not what's waking him. And he's still sharp as a tack, mentally. The culprit? His environment. You see, as we age, our sleep becomes naturally lighter and more fragmented. We spend less time in the deepest stages of sleep, so even minor disturbances, the soft hum of an appliance, a subtle light from the hallway, or a room that's just a bit too warm, can be enough to wake us. And while many people assume it's something internal, a health condition, or a medication side effect, sometimes, it's just the world around us being too loud, too bright, too inconsistent for our aging bodies to stay asleep. Even eating too close to bedtime can activate digestion and disrupt that precious early morning rest. So, what can you do about it? Start with the bedroom itself. Keep it cool, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for deep sleep. Use blackout curtains to block any streetlights or headlights. Consider a white noise machine, or even a soft fan, to mask sudden noises. And avoid heavy meals, spicy foods, or too much fluid within 2 hours of bedtime. Sometimes, improving sleep isn't about medicine. It's about creating a peaceful, protected space for your body to rest in. Because when you treat your bedroom like a sanctuary, your sleep often follows. Now, I know, we've covered a lot. All these reasons might feel overwhelming. But don't worry, we're about to pull it all together and help you feel not just informed, but empowered. Let's pause for a moment. Because if you've made it this far, chances are, you see it. Maybe in your own life. Maybe in someone you love. These early morning awakenings, they're not just about sleep. They can feel like a slow unraveling, of peace, of energy, of the quiet confidence we all hope to carry into our later years. And watching it happen? It can be frustrating. It can be scary. And at times, it can feel incredibly lonely. You might lie awake at night wondering, why can't I just sleep through the night like I used to? Or maybe you're watching your spouse stir again at 3 a.m., night after night, and wondering, is this just aging, or is something else going on? I want you to know something important. These wake-ups. They aren't failures. They aren't flaws. And they certainly aren't just something to tough out. They are your body's way of whispering, not screaming. Your body asking for attention, not punishment. It's your health reaching out in the quietest hours, asking you to notice. So, let's reframe this. Because instead of seeing these moments as burdens, what if we saw them as opportunities? Opportunities to listen. To adjust. To support each other, with patience, love, and just a little bit of curiosity. If you've noticed these signs, whether in yourself or someone you care for, start gently. You don't need a full diagnosis overnight. Just begin by tracking. Write down what time the waking happens. What else was going on? Is it noise? Is it worry? Is it a need that's going unmet? And then, talk about it. Share this video with someone in your family, in your community. Sometimes, opening the conversation is the first step toward peace. And peace, especially in our later years, is one of the most powerful gifts we can give ourselves, or each other. You are not alone in this. Thousands of older adults go through the same thing every night. But here's the difference, you now have knowledge. And knowledge brings choices. It brings confidence. It brings hope. Because waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't have to mean losing sleep. It can mean gaining awareness, gaining control, and moving one step closer to truly restful, healing sleep. And you, yes, you, deserve that. So, let's take a moment to breathe, and bring it all together. Today, we explored 5 powerful reasons why older adults keep waking up at 3 a.m., and what those restless moments might really mean. We talked about how your circadian rhythm shifts as you age, how your body's internal clock starts to tick a little differently. We explored the weight of emotional stress and anxiety, how unspoken worries and big life transitions can rise to the surface in the quietest hours. We shed light on nocturia, that all too common urge to use the bathroom that pulls you from sleep again and again. We looked at how early cognitive changes, including signs of dementia, can first show up not in memory, but in disrupted sleep. And we touched on environmental triggers, the sounds, lights, and little lifestyle habits that might seem harmless, but have a bigger impact than we think. And here's the thing, all of these, any of these, can affect your ability to feel truly rested. But the most important takeaway? You don't have to accept it as just a normal part of aging. You have tools. You have insight. You have options. So now I want to hear from you. Have you or someone close to you experienced these 3 a.m. wake-ups? Was it due to stress? A health issue? Something you never expected? What helped, or maybe what didn't? Share your experience in the comments below. You never know, your story might be exactly what someone else needs to feel understood, to feel less alone, to finally say, "Ah, I'm not the only one." And if you found this video helpful, even in just a small way, please subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Every day, we dive into the truths, the questions, and the quiet concerns that often go unspoken in the world of senior health and emotional well-being. This space is for you, and for anyone walking the beautiful, sometimes bumpy path of aging with grace. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, those 3 a.m. wake-ups might just be your body whispering, "Hey, something needs attention." So stay curious. Stay gentle with yourself. And most of all, stay open to the little changes that make a big difference. You deserve rest. You deserve peace. And we're here to help you find it, one video, one story, one shared moment at a time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.